Good morning, everybody. This is the UGAsports.com quick take. We're back for one. We're on this wonderful Thursday entering Georgia's game against UAB, just 2 days away. Figured I'd come back and bring one, considering a nice nice nugget from Kirby Smart. As we know, Georgia has not started so well offensively. I'm going to start with the start word. Just because when you look at the bigger picture, the opener against Tennessee Martin, 17 points at the half. The second game against Ball State, no points in the first quarter. And then, of course, Mekhi Muse helped spark this team to a 31-point explosion in the second quarter. Still had 0 points, had the missed field goal on the first drive in that first quarter. And then against South Carolina, a team that obviously is better than Tennessee Martin and Ball State, but this offense got down, could only get a field goal, and then struggled a good bit throughout the rest of the half, missed another field goal in that first half. And so it begs the question, why is this team starting slow? So Kirby Smart obviously asked again, why is this team starting slow? And he said, it's not that they're starting slow. That's a definition by the media. It's that they are slow scoring. And it made me think I'd never heard of it like that before. Slow scoring versus slow starting. I've actually been trying to think. I mean, is this just a kind of just a change of verbiage to kind of stick it to the reporters who are in attendance at his press conference, or is this a legitimate phrase that should be used instead of slow starting? And so I was thinking about it, honestly. And to a degree, I think Kirby's right. I think, you look at some of the games, some of the moments in these three games, I should say, where, yes, you got down the field. I think Ball State, the first drive where they went down the field and then missed the field goal, they didn't get points. So they weren't able to score fast. And I think regardless of how you want to look at that particular game, the offense on that first drive looked good until it got to the 10-yard line. Then it couldn't score a touchdown, settled for a field goal. If you get the field goal, perhaps that 31-point explosion starts happening sooner as momentum builds, because they only had 2 drives in that first quarter too. So, the running clock has changed a little bit when it comes to these starts. It's kind of like the NFL, where you watch a game and you're just kind of like, okay, when is this going to get going? And then boom, usually around the late first quarter, early second quarter, the scoring starts to happen with a bit more frequency, which honestly this year, not so much with all it seems like defenses have come to play in the NFL in the early going. I digress. But I was very, very interested. But you know what? Whether you want to call it slow starting, whether Kirby wants to address slow starting or slow scoring, that Kirby's talking about, at the end of the day, this Georgia offense has to do a better job of putting points up quicker. And one of those things, I'll be interested to see the kicker competition. I'm interested to see if Peyton Woodring is going to be the first kicker out there, or if it's going to be Jared Zirkle, because as we have seen so far, Peyton Woodring doesn't appear to be ready for the big time college football, with the 3 misses he's had in 3 games, especially against an SEC opponent. If they're playing in a close conference game, when it comes down to the later third, or even next week against Auburn, and it ends up being close, Auburn, Tennessee, Florida, heck, even Georgia Tech for that matter, and they need a field goal and you can't depend on your kicker, that's a problem. Now, that's not to say he won't be a good kicker or a dependable kicker, but right now through 3 games, that is obviously a question mark. So in terms of scoring, that's an area that they have to address. Getting the ball in the end zone, cleaning up the red zone issues, that was something that plagued this team midway through last year. They were able to fix it. You feel like you have enough confidence in Kirby and his coaching staff to instill in these guys how to execute and be able to improve in that area as well. And so ultimately, however you want to define it, just get in the end zone, and that will solve everybody's problems. And this is a good week to do it. Georgia gets to go back to the tune-ups, although the previous two tune-ups didn't exactly bode well for confidence in the slow start / slow scoring category. But you are getting a UAB team that has not really performed well this year so far. Outside of the week 1 win over North Carolina A&T, this team gave up 49 to Georgia Southern, and as a UAB better in that game, stupidly apparently, I remember Georgia Southern scoring quickly and early. And then last week, and that game was 49-35. And then last week against Louisiana, Louisiana defeated UAB 41-21. And the second quarter was when Louisiana opened things up with a 24-point explosion. Again, I think one thing I want to add before we sign off here is the first quarter it just may not be as dynamic as years past with the rule changes. You get a first down, that clock's going. You get a second first down, that clock's going, and then you punt. All of a sudden, that other team may only have one possession. So that is something to consider when you're wondering why Georgia has been a slow scoring team this year. And on that note, I will sign off of the quick take. Wanted to jump in here and provide one on the slow scoring, slow starting. It made me chuckle a little bit, not in a mean way. It's just funny when you see people kind of rewrite phrases and re-say phrases that are so common in this game. So with that, I will let you guys go. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you haven't already, you guys have been awesome. My name is Jason Butt. Y'all take care.